Greetings and welcome to Causeless Joy Tarot. I am Glory, the Golden Light Goddess, and I'm here today to do a general reading for the sign of Scorpio for the month of May 2018. Today I'll be using two decks. The main deck will come from Morgan Greer's tarot deck, and then the guidance card will come from the Chakra Insight Oracle deck by Karen Sangster. So let's go ahead and get started with your reading, Scorpio, for the month of May. So we'll be starting with your overall energy card for the month of May, and here we do have the Devil coming in as your overriding energy card. These cards were drawn at the beginning of the year. And they will be used throughout the year. And again, you do have the Devil coming up as your primary energy. The Devil speaks to being dependent. All right, we're talking dependency when we see the Devil. Either you're dependent on something or someone. It could also mean that you're feeling powerless, and it also carries the element of secrecy. So let's go ahead now and take a look at the rest of your cards and see exactly how this Devil energy will play into the rest of your reading. All right. Calling on my guides, angels, teachers, and helpers, all that loves and surrounds the sign of Scorpio, asking for guidance, clarity, vision, and wisdom as we look at the energies available to the sign of Scorpio in the month of May 2018. Giving thanks in advance to all that is loving and true for perfect clarity, perfect wisdom, and perfect vision. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Also, if you know your rising sign or your moon sign, I encourage you to take a look at those readings as well, so that you can gain additional clarity about the energies available to you in the upcoming month. Today is May 1st, so we are officially in the month of May, and we're looking at the energies for the sign of Scorpio in the month of May 2018. All right, that feels pretty good for Scorpio. And let's go ahead and cut the cards now and see exactly what we have. All right, Scorpio. So we're working with 5 cards today, and the first card represents your internal power. Next, we have your abundance, your romance, your challenge card, as well as your final outcome card. So we'll be starting here with your internal power here. And you do have the Empress coming up in the reverse here. All right, upright, the Empress is about fertility, growth, abundance. When we see the Empress coming up in the reverse here, we're talking dependency on others. This is exactly where we were with the overriding energy card, a major arcana. You have your internal power coming out, major arcana. Both of these cards essentially mean the same thing. They're both speaking to dependence, whether you're depending on other people, you're depending on circumstances. These cards speak one word, and that word is dependence. So, as an internal power, when we see this when we see this card, the Empress coming in for you as an internal power, that says that for me, what's coming up is that you're somehow gaining by depending on others. Now, depending on your perspective, how you were raised, you know, this could be viewed as a good thing. If I'm depending on someone else and ultimately that dependence is causing me gain financially, that could be viewed as a positive thing. What comes up is people who marry for money over love, instead of marrying because they love someone, they marry because of the financial benefits that can be involved there. And we all know how that story goes. You get what you're putting in out of a situation. If you were to go to a bank and constantly make withdrawals and never put anything back in, what do you suppose would happen over time? Eventually you would deplete that account. Eventually you would, have to do something else. You can't keep taking and not putting back. And I'm not saying that, this is how someone is living. If you know that this energy and what I'm saying applies to you, then, so be it. If it doesn't apply to you, then it doesn't. Leave it for someone that it will be useful for. But at the end of the day, this is coming through as an internal power. So some kind of way, you're gaining power, gaining financial strength as a result of depending on someone else. And I'll leave that to you as to whether you want to label that a good or bad thing. I'm not here to label anyone or to label anything that anyone's doing. I'm simply here to read the energies that are coming up. And the energy of dependence is very clear and very evident for the sign of Scorpio. All right, so let's move right along then. In your next position, we have, this is your abundance card here coming in, and we do have the Two of Cups coming up in the reverse in your abundance area here. So the Two of Cups upright is about a very strong, loving, powerful relationship, a partnership even, because this is the abundance card and not your romance card. This card actually, although abundance can be an abundance of relationships, but here we're talking abundance in a physical sense, because we do have a romance card on the table as well. So here again we have the Two of Cups coming up in the reverse. So as it relates to your abundance, we're talking a partnership, a deal, some sort of partnership that is in this aspect. There's a breakup or a disillusion of disillusion. Am I saying that right? Dissolution, like when you disillusion a marriage. I don't know if I'm saying that one right, but there's a breakup or a separation here that's happening in some type of partnership. Perhaps you're in business and you have a business partner, and that partnership is falling apart, and as a result it's affecting your financial status. So there's some sort of connection, whether it be, and I do believe this is more of a casual business type of connection. There's some sort of connection that's not going well, and that connection is impacting your ability to manifest financially, is what I'm picking up here with this Two of Cups coming up in the reverse. All right, so something to be mindful of there if you are dealing with a partnership that is fledgling, falling apart. I don't know if that's a partnership that can be saved or salvaged in any way, but the cards are clearly indicating that this connection has a direct impact on your abundance, on your ability to manifest financially. All right. So, next up in the relationship area, you have another two coming in, the two of coins, which means that you have some choices to make. There's a decision that needs to be made. Now, I find it interesting, and another sign got two twos in a row. I believe it was Aries. And I also found an interesting combination there with that two combination as well. But here I'm picking up that we were just talking about the business partnership that is in it's in reverse. There's something going on in this business partnership that is not in alignment with that would allow you to manifest financially. Again, it feels like a business partnership here. Here, it could very well be, this is your romance card, and this card is saying that you have a decision to make, that you have a couple of options to choose from. It could mean that you have two partners to choose from, and you're in the process of deciding, well, do I want partner A or do I want partner B? And that very well may be the case, or partner C, if you're that lucky to have three choices to choose from. But there's some sort of decision that needs to be made about this relationship. Either the time has come for you to select one of those partners and move forward, or to let a partner go. Even maybe you only have one, and there's some sort of decision that needs to be made around your romantic relationship, is what this card is saying, and that you do have options, right? So even if you only have one partner, you have two options. Either you can stay with that one partner or you can leave. So you have options, and there is a need to make a choice there. And it'll be up to you to decide what that choice is and when that choice actually needs to be made. All right, so moving on now to your challenge card. You do have the Hangman coming up in the reverse, another major arcana for you here. And I am counting a total of 3 majors for Scorpio. So this could represent a month where some changes are bound to take place for you. And so when we see the Hangman, when it's upright, we're talking surrender, time to let go of something. When we see it in the reverse, it's more about feeling victimized. So I'm drawn back to this two, both twos actually. But first of all, this one, the need to make a choice in a romantic relationship. The second one, a business partnership that's probably under strain currently. These things could leave you feeling victimized, like you're not in control of what's happening. And it could also mean that there's some betrayal of some sort. Perhaps this business partnership is falling apart because there's been some sort of betrayal of trust, or betrayal of respect, there, that caused that relationship to kind of fall apart there. And so there may be this feeling of victimization here. But what Spirit wants you to know, Scorpio, is that, we aren't victims of anything. Every decision, every choice that we make has consequences. For every action, there's a reaction. So if there is an adverse reaction that you're dealing with because of a choice that you made or a choice that someone else made, you know, wherever possible, you have the same choice to make a new decision whenever possible. Because of course, if we're dealing with someone else's choice or their way of doing things, we have no control over making someone else make a new decision. But we have the ultimate control to choose again ourselves. So that's the reason why we're never ultimately victims of any circumstance, because we always have that ability to make a new choice, right? And even if the circumstance doesn't allow for you to make a new choice, you can still choose how you're going to respond to that stimulus. You can make the choice to respond differently. Instead of reacting, respond differently. So we're never victims, and Spirit wants you to absolutely know this, that we're never victims of what has happened to us. The moment you begin to view yourself as a victim, then everyone and everything around you has to respond to your victimhood, right? Everyone has to, you begin to be treated, as the old saying goes, if it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, and quacks like a duck, it probably is a duck. You begin to embody this sense of victimhood. I'm very passionate, as you probably can tell, about this victim mindset. The mindset of thinking that, this is, I'm just done for. This is as good as it gets. I can't do anything else. You always have that option to choose again, even if it's simply a choice to think differently, to see it differently, to shift your perspective. All right, enough said about that challenge card. So let's move on to your final outcome card. Here you do have the Ten of Swords coming up in the reverse. Tens do signify completion. And of course, when we see this 10 in the upright, it's, this guy is stabbed in the back and he's on the ground and doesn't look like he'll be getting up anytime soon. But when we see the Ten of Swords coming up in the upright, or I'm sorry, in the reverse, it's about a new start. It's about recovering. It's about forgiveness. So I'm drawn right back to that victim card. Once you're able to shift your perspective out, then the healing can begin. Then the forgiving if this partner betrayed you, if this business partner made you feel like you were less than what you truly are, then you have this energy of forgiveness coming in, of recovery, of healing. So use that energy, because I was really picking up on not only the victim thing, but also this sense of dependency on either other people or on your circumstance, depending very heavily on things or people to get you through. And now is the time to heal. Now is the time to forgive. Now is the time to blossom and to be able to stand in your own power and as much as you can, because I know that there are a zillion circumstances that would require you to rely on someone or something else. So it's not that you're being that I'm at all, or Spirit is demeaning you in any way if you are in a position where you are needing to depend on others. But know that there's this powerful energy of forgiveness and healing that's also available for you. And the more you become aware of that energy, the more that energy can show itself to you. So take advantage of that, Scorpio. All right, so that it does conclude your reading for the month of May. We'll go ahead now and take a look at your guidance card. And again, I am using Karen Sangster's Insight Chakra Oracle deck, or Chakra Insight Oracle deck. And we're asking for one additional card for the sign of Scorpio for the month of May 2018. One additional card for the sign of Scorpio for the month of May 2018. And there we have it. It fell right on top of that forgiveness card. Would you look at that, Scorpio? This card fell right on top of your forgiveness card. And it says will, expression, assertiveness, direction, and self-control. You know, this is perfect because it's exactly what I was picking up here with this victim mentality, and also with the dependence. To become more assertive, to step into your own power, to use your will to do better and be better, you know, to move yourself forward. You know, it's about self-control. Take a look at the words here on this card. Expression, assertiveness, direction. You know, these are all things that will help alleviate some of that dependency and to move you out of a victim mindset and allow that healing to begin to unfold naturally for you, if this is applicable to you. All right, so that does conclude your reading, Scorpio, for the month of May 2018. I thank you for joining me this month, and I look forward to seeing you back here in the month of June. Namaste.